We are looking to partner with somebody to acquire some property in 2024 so that we can start making our own whiskeys. And then we've got events we want to do. We want to do a bourbon festival. I guess the biggest news, October 12th, Opelika, Alabama, our first Brewzle Palooza. I don't know if that's a working title. I don't know if that's going to work. Maybe we don't stick with that one. So it is the Brewzle Bourbon Festival, what we're calling it, and we're calling it that. I just want to call it Brewzle Palooza. I can't say with absolute certainty that it's going to happen. It should happen. We've got our event October 12th, which has been approved by the city of Opelika. Tickets should be available for our October 12th event very, very soon. Feeling pretty good, a little tired. We stayed up a little too late last night, got up a little too early this morning. Got a lot of work done right now. It seems like everything is perfectly on schedule. What could go wrong? We're going to be trying some whiskey. We're going to be doing different stuff. It's going to be a lot like the live stream where we just try different things, but it, with a live audience, maybe a little more audience participation.
We did something that when TJ first said it in a meeting, I was like, that's insane. I don't think we could ever do that. And as usual, with TJ, he says something and you go, I don't think we could do that. And you can do it because that's just the kind of guy he is.
I have my camera. I'm excited to get some pictures and just hang out with everybody. I love our community. I love hanging out with everybody in the Discord. And I'm very excited just to be able to interact and talk to all the great Brewzle people.
For this thing to be pull off and be a great event in general, he's real excited about it. We're excited for him. We're excited to be here for old Dominic.
I mean, rewind two and a half years ago, never would have thought this would happen. And get your new Barry merch too. It's pretty fire.
Go get it, link in bio.
Yep.
Got a barrel-aged beer that we've been aging for 8 and 10 months in red clay, the Terry Cider. Fantastic, but there's got a lot of different, we got like 5 different things there. So go get samples of that. You have to buy pints, you can buy growlers. Of course, John Emerald's out here pouring, but they've got cocktails and stuff in there as well if you want. And then have some samples, hang out. We're going to have some live music and some presentations and stuff. So.
All right, so 21% rye, MGP, aged 100% in Mississippi. Got a couple of wheat products back here. This is 16%. This is the first release of our in-house distillate. We just put it out this week, 1674, 10% malted barley. I got a 21% wheated bourbon, kind of the sister recipe for these 21% ryes. We got 28%, 65 and 7 Milo. And then this one over here is just a little heirloom project we ran back in 2019.
All right, let's try this bad boy.
All right.
All right, so we got our rye, our toasted bourbon, and our double oak bourbon. The double oak is what, like I said, this is what TJ's been raving about. This is the exact batch. It'll be in the next whiskey drop as well. He ordered 600 bottles of this.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Thanks for all you do for our hobby. Thank you. Appreciate you coming.
Cool posters. It has some cool little sayings off of the channel.
That's so cool.
Here, let me get that.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? What? Thank you. Yes, I'm gonna go change into these in a minute.
It's the holiday season, and if you're like me, you know a great coffee is essential to starting your day. And just like with bourbon, I enjoy experiencing unique flavors and discovering new favorites. Finding top quality craft coffee, that's where today's partner, Trade, comes in. Trade Coffee is America's #1 specialty coffee marketplace, bringing together the country's best independent roasters so every single cup is fresh, unique, and perfectly suited to your taste. This year, Trade has made gift giving easy with their personalized coffee subscriptions. You don't need to know what the recipient likes, what they brew at home. All you need is their email, and Trade does the rest. Each gift subscription means a new coffee each month, matched to their taste, roasted fresh, and delivered right to their door. If you're really looking to surprise someone, Trade's curated gift box are packed with unique selections from top local roasters across the country. There's a coffee for everyone, whether they're longtime coffee lovers, adventurous explorers, or just looking to upgrade their daily brew. And Trade sent me this box with their salted caramel latte kit. I made a mess making it. I'm making a mess drinking it. But my God, is that freaking delicious. You could probably do a little better than I did when it comes to making it. You need bigger containers, but it was well worth the mess. Give a gift that's personal, memorable, and always gets it right. Head to drinktrade.com/Brewzle to get started. Again, drinktrade.com/Brewzle. Link below in the description. Let's get back to the video. So we worked with Red Clay about 10 months ago to make beer and put it in bourbon barrels. So we've got a few barrels that are 10 months old and a few barrels that are 8 months old. Absolutely fantastic, great experiment. I think we'll do some of them in mass. We might even try to get them into the market at some point in the future. We worked with Old Dominic to bring in some barrels. We took some of the Wheat State barrels that we acquired from Kansas, blended those together into a special release for the event. Our first release under our own brand.
I'm very excited to try Obi-Wan. Very excited.
I mean, this is something that we've wanted to do from the beginning. So, you know, that honestly, that kind of adds to the pressure a little bit, just because, like, you know, it's time to, for lack of better words, nut up or shut up when it comes to our whiskey brand. And here we are. We finally did it.
This is Oak Bowery 1. I'm just going to go ahead and admit this is the worst whiskey I'm ever going to put my name on. Okay? And that's not that it's bad. It's just we had a timeline and we had materials to work with, right? And our hope is that we will do better in the future.
Did you say this was for the pours?
This is for the pours? What do you mean?
For the
people?
Yeah.
What? No, man. This is for rich people. This is rich people. It's a $100 bottle. This is not for poor people, okay? And I promise you, I'm not making money at $100 a bottle. Alabama takes their cut, and their cut is huge. Alabama, this is for Alabama, so if y'all like your roads paved here in Alabama, this is going to help you just a little bit, okay? The base of this is Old Dominic. So they were kind enough to overcharge me for some barrels of Old Dominic. So we have 3 barrels of the Old Dominic High Rye Bourbon. We have 3 barrels of the Old Dominic Low Rye Bourbon, aka Tennessee whiskey. If anybody says Tennessee whiskey is not a bourbon, tell them they're lying, because it is. Now, we bought a distillery in Kansas called Wheat State Distilling. We went and picked up their barrels, and we added a couple of their barrels in here. We picked the best ones we could. A couple, like they, for some reason or another, in the 120s. When I say in the 120s, they have barrel numbers, like all of their stuff's 6 to 8 years old. Everything in this is 6+ years old. In the 120s, they had a run of like 6 or 7 barrels that were just dark red fruit. They had a little malt coming through on them, and we really liked those. So we picked 2 or 3 of those, played with the blend. 3 of them, the malt was a little stronger than we wanted, so we dialed it back to 2. I really wish we would have put 3 in, because once we actually, instead of samples, once we actually did the blend with the barrels, I felt it could have used a little more, but with the samples, the malt was just too strong. J-Rock here helped me out with the blend. Where'd J-Rock go?
He's up on stage. You go
He's on stage. I'm going on stage.
Let's go. Who needs pours?
They need pours. All these people over here need pours. We used those 2 Wheat State barrels and put in there. Now, if y'all are VIP, so in the back there, we've pulled samples of 3 sorghum whiskeys and 3 wheat whiskeys. All of their stuff was wheated. All their bourbons were wheated because it's the freaking Wheat State. It's Wheat State Distilling. If they made a bourbon that wasn't wheated, then they're not good at marketing. Anytime you do something for the first time, it's a learning experience. There's a lot of things you don't realize. And whiskey is very, very hard if you don't know. It's difficult, takes a lot of time, takes a lot of money. And there's a lot of lessons, there's a lot of skills you have to build to put out a good product. Sometimes you do a blend and it needs a little water, and it's a little better with a little water. And I think that would be, I would like that better out of the bottle if we could have took the proof down to that 105 to 115 proof versus the 120 plus. But the label said barrel proof, and do I water it down or do I risk going to jail? So I'm just gonna let you water it down. You know, I just felt like that was a good compromise. So I do suggest just a little drop of water in it. I think it really opens up, gets a lot better. You pick up a lot more of those flavors. That red fruit starts to come a little further forward.
We got into some of these, and some of these were really unique bottles we're dealing with. But we did find some really, really nice weeders. They're all weeders. We did find some really nice ones in there that had, man, just. And I'm not going to say it's a Weller killer by any means, but there were just some hints of that Weller, you know, that antique 107 flavor note in that.
That red fruit.
Yeah, that was in there. So we started playing with those, put them into the Tennessee sourced whiskeys, and came up with a really nice blend.
Give my tasting notes on this right here. Oh, this OB1, right?
It is.
Man, once it sits and opens up a little bit, I think these bottles are going to be really nice.
Absolutely.
For me, that's a little bit of graham cracker on the nose. Definitely graham cracker and caramel. Flavor-wise, I get that graham cracker. There's a little dustiness on the mid palate. I think the fruitiness didn't come through as strong. I've got a little bit of that dark fruit on the finish though. When we were doing the blending, the fruit was more forward, so it was on the front of the palate. Now I feel like it's kind of on the back of the palate on the finish. But with a couple of drops of water, that tends to kind of swap into more of what we actually blended when we were putting it together. Raise your hand if it's better with water. Just a little bit. Assholes, every one of them. Who thought it was better without the water? They're lying, every one of them. Every one of them's lying. Why start a distillery? I am a glutton for punishment. So, I mean, honestly, full disclosure, let's talk about this. Starting a distillery is probably the worst idea I've ever had. And so it's capital intensive, it takes a lot of money, it takes a lot of time, but I also enjoy making things. Like I enjoy working with my hands and crafting something. And I've been looking for something, like one of the reasons I like cars, like I like restored old cars and doing stuff when I have time. Like I like doing something tangible. And in my career, like I own an e-commerce agency, so we build websites that sell things, right? So you do a bunch of work and it's this digital thing on a screen. And it's great for those companies. They make a lot of money, you know, it pays for my bills and stuff, so it's fun. But like realistically, you just don't feel like you actually crafted anything. So it's fun to, you know, just tangibly do something with your hands and make something. And the easy way is just to source whiskey. Like we could go work with somebody there. I've got 30 people in my inbox right now that have emailed us, found out we're trying to start a brand. It's like, we'll make it for you, we'll make your whiskey, we'll do whatever you want. And we could do that. And we're gonna have to source whiskey. Like Oak Bowery will be a sourced whiskey brand. I don't like whiskey till at least 6 years old. Like that's why everything in this is 6 years old. I'm not saying everything we put out will be 6 years old, but we really want it to be.
You guys went out, what, 3 weeks ago?
3 weeks ago, yes.
To Kansas to pick this stuff up. Had to get all that stuff back to Alabama, set it up. The following week, I came down and we started playing through all the bottles at your house, 60 bottles of whiskey, trying to find something that would be an acceptable blend to put out.
Oh, we did some Smokey and the Bandit shit to get this done. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like this was, like we were gonna ship these barrels and it's like, when can we get it? It's gonna be weeks. No. I went up there, we took a crew of 5 folks. I rented some U-Hauls. Are you supposed to have a tote of 190 proof neutral grain? 250 gallons of neutral grain spirits in a U-Haul? Probably not. Did we? No, we definitely did not do that. But we did load an awful lot of barrels of whiskey into a box truck owned by a very famous rental company. And we had that crew, you know, wagon training those things back. We got them back on Saturday. We started blending Monday. Yeah, 3 weeks total from the first barrel arriving, so they actually bottled and sold. Yeah. Finding whiskey moves slow. Find another company that sold them 3 weeks after starting a project. I will give them a gold medal. The equipment we obtained, I bought a bottle of every single distillery's whiskey that has the particular still that we obtained. And I don't like any of it. And so that's a concern, right? Is it the still? Is it the ingredients? Is it the oak? I don't know. There's lots of ingredients that go into whiskey. Could be the still. So that's a concern. But we didn't pull samples, but we've got 300 gallons of barrel rested gin that the previous place did. It's really good. They make a really good gin. That still makes a really good rum. It makes a really nice vodka. And so long term, that'll probably be the future of that particular piece of equipment. We're gonna experiment until we can afford what we want. It's like, I want a good column still. I want a good Vendome column still, you know, a small one, to make our whiskey. We will experiment with that equipment. Long term, that equipment will probably be used for distilling stuff that's distilled at a higher proof than bourbon. We're gonna do all sorts of weird stuff. He asked if we were doing different types of finishes on our bourbon. We're going to try a lot of different things. We got a lot to learn. So we're going to mess some of them up. And we're working on a label right now. I'm probably going to draw it with crayon. It's going to be like, don't drink this. This is awful. And we're going to bottle those up. And we're going to send those out and see if y'all are dumb enough to take them off our hands at a very, very cheap discounted price. So when we do something really dumb, We're gonna let y'all try it and tell us where we messed up. Because honestly, like I've got my palate, I know what I like, but there's a lot of things I try, I'm like, this is not for me. But then somebody else comes right behind me and says, this is the best thing I've ever had. All right, appreciate y'all there. Hey, we got a whole bunch of vendors out there, go try a bunch of whiskey.
Currently trying to figure out our VIP lounge, or at least finish it up. And we're having some unofficial pours back there. We need signs for each of the distillers coming, including ours truly, Oak Bowery. I'm going to be doing the State of Craft Whiskey panel. That should be good.
Yeah, so my name's Royce Neely. I'm the owner and master distiller at Neely Family Distillery in Sparta, Kentucky.
I'm Gabe Sandoval. I'm head distiller for Cadet Distillery, producer of Old Soul Bourbon.
My name's Kenny Coleman. I'm TJ's best friend. I'm one of the co-founders of Pursuit Spirits, and I'm so excited to be here with you all tonight. I wish I had a cool name like Master Blender, Master Distiller, but they call me Master Spreadsheeter because I keep the business afloat.
So obviously the name of our panel this tonight is State of Craft Whiskey, and all of you guys are here. They're kind of the bigger names in craft whiskey. You guys all have really great roles, and make sure you guys make some great products as well. So I want to talk about, first that let's look at the snapshot of the industry right now.
I really feel like we're living in the golden age of whiskey right now. We had. It's not to say it's like, it's a growth period, right? Because craft used to be called crap, not more than just a couple years ago. But now there's so much stuff that's coming online that people are starting to find really great whiskey that's not coming from the big 6 distillers that are out there. So I'm really excited to kind of see where the future growth of this is, where it's going to go. When you go to the liquor store and you look at the sea of whiskey on the shelf, you all know like 90% of it probably comes from 6 distilleries, right? And I think that's the part where a lot of us that have been in it for so long, we're just getting sick of it. Like, we want to try something new, we want to try something interesting, we want to try something different. Whether it's pot still, whether it's blended differently, whether it's coming from a smaller producer, you want to try to find something that is just going to start shocking your taste buds, something that's going to be completely different. And whether it's from Kentucky or whether it's from Indiana or whether it's from Hawaii, like, it doesn't really matter. We're just trying to find something brand new and innovative. And that's why I really think the craft whiskey still has more room to grow. It's just mostly an innovation.
As a distillery, we lean pretty heavily on source juice, and we're kind of just now, literally as of this week, starting to release some of our own distillate into the market. We try and look at us being in a unique location, it having a unique climate, that having a unique interaction with the spirit that's in the barrel as a strong point of differentiation for us. My background's kind of more beer oriented, and there's just a plethora of other ingredients to be working with, and I think that's just kind of the easiest place to make a better product that is just increasing the quality of your inputs, and that will increase the quality of your outputs, right? So
2 things that come to mind when I think about it. One is the consumer itself. So it's been really cool to see since I started in 2015. With innovation, you need a consumer that wants innovation as well, right? It doesn't do you no good to make new products if people aren't looking for new products or going out and being open to trying them. And it's been really cool for me to be able to see, especially in the last 3 to 4 years, so many more educated people just walking through the front door of the distillery and knowing like, oh man, you guys sweet mash. Or, oh, this is some of the nuances we're going to get from a pot still versus what we've tasted down the road at a column still distillery. And it's really cool to see people already know that or becoming more educated and wanting to know it. So that's a really good sign of like what's to come with whiskey. It's just the consumer itself getting more educated. The other state that I would think of when I think of craft whiskey is it's almost like a tree, all right? If it's not growing, it's dying type of deal. So you better be innovating because it's a very competitive market and it's getting more competitive.
And what that shows is that there is a thirst and there is a hunger for something that's very new, right? And as you being here right now just shows that you all want to be on the cutting edge of let's find something that's different.
Let's talk about the distribution and the direct-to-consumer stuff, because that's kind of could be like a silver bullet that like helps its craft brands win or grow.
Just because you produce something and you put it in the distributor's hands, it doesn't mean they're actually going to do anything with it, right? It kind of goes back to incentives, and it goes back into they have to, besides the 25 points we pay them, they also have to say like, well, you know, if I sell 3 cases in here, what are you gonna give me, right? So it goes back in that it's a bigger game as a part of that. But to kind of talk about the DTC aspect and kind of dovetail on what Roy said over here a little bit, you know, this is something that I feel it's needed. It's really truly needed in the craft industry world. A lot of the wineries that you go to that are in Napa and everywhere else, like they make probably 70% of their revenue based on just the wine clubs alone, right? If we could do that, it would be a huge game changer. I mean, could you imagine subscribing to one of our distilleries and having the ability to have whether it's a quarterly release or a semi-annual box that just shows up, that's something that's just unique and something that only you can get? Like, that's what we want to deliver. Like, how cool would that be? You know, and thankfully, you know, you've got the Brewzle Club that is able to deliver some of these bottles to you as well. But, you know, the other issue with that is that, you know, we also want to have the customer data. Like, we have no idea who our customers are. And so by being able to talk to you all directly and have products that we can deliver to you that are unique and one-offs, it would be a huge game changer.
We've actually been able to change a lot of laws, but it doesn't do us any good to change laws because we're not only federally regulated, but state regulated. So just because Kentucky now says I can ship anywhere, if it's not a reciprocal state, which I think there's only 15 of them right now that are reciprocal to Kentucky's laws, I can't technically ship there without potentially facing charges or something from that state's ABC agency.
And there's nothing more painful than being back in that VIP area pouring shots of a product we just released exclusively in Mississippi, and yeah, you just gotta drive to our state and pick it up.
Right, I want to talk about sourcing. You guys, obviously, Royce, you guys have a unique, ability that you guys distill all your products, and Gabe, you're a little bit in the middle, and then Kenny, you're very much on the sourcing side.
Sourcing is not a dirty word, right? I mean, that's one of those things that I feel that this is a particular term that people have taken the wrong direction a few years ago. We partner with all 4 of our distilleries that we work with for Pursuit Spirits, and so everything is made to our spec. It's built to our way and then blended in-house to what we have as our particular flavor profile. For us, it didn't make sense for us to actually go and build a distillery. Royce is on the other side because he has family heritage, he has legacy, he has all these things going on. I didn't want to find out 5 years later that we make whiskey like shit. Instead, we focus and put hundreds of years of expertise in front of us by partnering with 4 different great distilleries that know how to make really, really great whiskey. By doing that, it allows us to focus on 2 things. 1, maturation, and 2nd, blending. Because at the end of the day, what you're tasting out of the barrel, 80% of that's coming from the wood. It's coming from the maturation process. And so that's really where we put a lot of our focus and our effort in, is really that process of how we can sit there and make a unique product that is going to be something that is just singularly ours.
I would say for us specifically, yeah, it's a means to an end, ideally, right? But what I would say, it's obviously a mixed bag, right? Kind of as I outlined earlier, it's the thing that we're juggling almost 2 different identities as a brand now that we're starting to come to market with our own distillate. Our small batch has always been a blend of source and our distillate, and now we're starting to come to market with our own distillate exclusively. And so it's either the case that you have to, if your capacity gets to the point where you're actually swallowing up what you're sourcing, well, now you're completely changing your new make, and that's now becoming your brand, or it's on the people in the front office to decide how we're going to segment our portfolio, our products, to kind of reflect the differences that are actually in that bottle.
Stick around. Thank you guys for coming, and enjoy the rest of the festival.
Big Suey!
kind of doing like our live stream, right? Yup, raise your hand if you've seen our live stream. Okay, so most of you, that's cool. For the ones that don't, we just sit around and drink whiskey, okay? So it's not that complicated. It's not a hard live stream. We have a stage sponsor, which is awesome. So we're going to talk about a little bit of whiskey here, the bond, and then it's just going to, we got some blinds and some different things set up. We're just going to have a good time, okay? If anybody has any questions, just yell and we might answer them, we might not. The world's youngest master blender right here. Apparently he started blending whiskey before he was old enough to drink it. I don't know how he pulled that off. He is now 19 years old.
24.
You don't even have audio.
Yeah, so Logan McCann from Kentucky, based out of Bardstown. Ran the bonds with 3 of my friends from college. So it's me and 2 of my friends. Basically, we lost a couple friends along the way. Having a drink one night and said, you know, what would we do to have another drink with them? So this is kind of an ode to the memory with them. We got our start as a barrel wholesaler. So these are all source barrels. Non-distilling producer. Basically, we're finishing everything in Kentucky in Camp Nelson F style warehouses, just sheet metal and timber, making it a little more interesting. You know, all MGP has to be handled a little bit different.
So all of these are going to be MGP. And now y'all know how much I talk about MGP, right? None whatsoever. I never talk crap about MGP. Okay, y'all are misinterpreting. All I'm saying, so here's the thing with MGP for me. Realistically, I like MGP. MGP's fine whiskey. It is one of the most sourced whiskeys on the planet for a reason, because it's pretty good whiskey. Well, I mean, it's pretty good and it's cheap. Like, really, the cheap helps a whole bunch, too, as far as sourced whiskey goes. But, because it helps you get out a cheaper bottle into the market. My problem with MGP is if I walk into a liquor store and they've got a whole array of different bottles, I've got, like right now, I've got about 800 bottles of bourbon open on the bar. And out of those 800, probably 300 or plus of them are MGP sourced brands. And so when I go in and I see something that's distilled in Indiana, I mean, I assume that's MGP. Not always the case. Starlight makes great stuff in Indiana. I think Hard Truth's in Indiana.
Yeah,
so there's other stuff coming out of there, but you assume that's MGP. And my assumption is that that's not going to be drastically different than the 300 bottles of MGP source stuff that I already have. Oftentimes that proves to be wrong, but I try to let somebody tell me that it's good or that it's different, and I will spend my money on somebody who made their own whiskey because I know that's at least going to be a unique expression.
Yeah,
so how do you make MGP different than the thousands of other people that are putting out MGP whiskey?
Yeah, so really for me, it all comes down to aging. So like I said, we age in Camp Nelson F-style warehouses. So it's just sheet metal and timber. And for me, the big thing is being able to manage the barrels in the different parts of the warehouse. So I have 5 or 6 barrels at a time where I try to achieve that flavor profile. All of our barrels, or all of our blends, are 4-barrel blends. So I try to achieve those. So some I move to the bottom of the warehouse, some I move to the top of the warehouse. And really it's just moving around to try to fit that flavor profile that we have. And so for me, that's at least what makes it different, is the majority of its life, it's aged either by MGP. Some barrels have been aged in West Virginia or Montana. So a little bit of both, just kind of aging them for the majority of their life in those states, then moving to Kentucky, achieving that flavor we're looking for, and then going from there.
MGP, normally, like I go in the market right now and buy MGP barrels already aged, and I need to go ahead and bottle them. You're aging them, how long are you aging them? Are you getting them new made, or are you just buying them old and then?
So both, actually.
Okay.
So some of the barrels we're buying from new make, so we're buying a lot of our wheated barrels as new make. A lot of our kind of older rye whiskeys we're actually buying from other producers, and other rye bourbons we're buying from other producers who are vetted within the industry. You know their names already. We just have access to their off-profile barrels. So like I said, we got our start as barrel wholesalers. So we're taking those barrels, kind of aging them in a unique way, finishing them in our warehouses for about a year before we release those, and just kind of achieving that unique flavor profile that Kentucky brings to us. So yeah, bottled in Kentucky, so we're bottled in Frankfurt. So yeah, distilled in Indiana, aged majority of this bottle, at least the aged majority of its life in Montana. So it actually led to a high English share just because of the elevation. Then finished in Kentucky, and then we bottled it there in Frankfurt.
All right, give me your tasting notes with your 11-year-old palate.
Yeah. I'll see what I can get out of the Happy Meal, but yeah, at least for me, out of this one, I get a really nice sweet oak.
Okay.
So kind of
Yeah.
an oak note that carries through. You know, a lot of high rye bourbons that can be overpowering. After that, I get a really nice kind of cocoa note. So kind of a cacao note before it goes into either orchard fruit or like a citrus. So for me, it's like a chocolate covered orange, kind of like that Christmas candy you get. That's chocolate on the outside, kind of orange cream on the inside.
Some elaborate notes.
Yeah, do what I can.
Okay. The only note that matters is it good or is it not good? Those are the only two the only two notes that matter realistically. I like all the other tasting notes. Anybody gives me more than 2 or 3, I'm starting to doubt that.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, you know, Christmas candies, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, kind of like those chocolate covered oranges you get.
That's fair. That's a fair note. It is pretty good though.
You get kind of that dusty cacao on the back end.
Yeah, a little bit.
That citrus.
Which honestly,
brightness.
that's not the note I'm typically looking for. I do like the citrus on it though.
Yeah. That's kind of hard to get in the bourbons, especially the cacao note without double barreling and stuff.
For sure. What's this other one right here?
Yeah, so this is our 4-year-old 21 rye. So we bought this from a distillery out in West Virginia. You'll have to excuse me. I'm gonna open the
Okay. And are you pouring these in the VIP or?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been pouring these and then also pouring our blackberry bourbon all day long. Yeah.
Anybody try this in the VIP? Raise your hand if you liked it. Look at there. Everybody who tried it liked it. I think. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there was somebody else. Raise your hand if you didn't like it. Let's just go ahead and go both ways. Nobody brave enough, or y'all really like it that much? Honestly, if y'all realize how this looked this morning and how we were trying to pull things together, everybody who's done stuff here has been they've done a fantastic job. I can't even talk. I'm getting choked up. They've done a fantastic job. Like realistically, this is very hard and as smooth as it went. I'm very surprised. Is this the rye?
Yeah, so this is our 4-year-old 21 rye.
So it's a little younger than the bourbon we've been trying.
A little younger. Actually, this one's more awarded than our 7-year is.
It's more what?
More awarded.
Awarded?
Yeah.
So I don't believe it.
You know, so this is a 4-year-old low rye, so 21 rye. It's kind of that traditional bourbon that gives you a nice caramel, vanilla note. At least that's what I get out of it. But a little bit of berries on the back end. So a little bit of heat from that kind of young age, but it kind of rounds it out.
It is a little youthful, but I think I like the notes I get on that one. Like the cacao is not my thing.
Yeah.
This one's a little more sweet, a little more, like I say, kind of berry forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's going to be my jam. It needs a little more age though.
We got about 50 aging in the warehouse still, so
okay.
See what happens in a couple of years.
Beautiful. We all give a round of applause here for our stage sponsor, the Bond. Appreciate it coming out. The world's youngest master blender. My goal is to be the world's oldest amateur blender.
You know, if you guys been watching the live stream, the last 4 weeks we've been doing these blinds for store picks to figure out what the best kind of store pick there is out there. What store does the best barrel of X brand? And so I have a little rendition of this. I will tell you this, it is bourbon. They are all from the same maker, and they are all the same mash bill, but they are not all single barrels.
Okay.
So the idea,
That's what I was going to guess too. He's a big Maker's Mark fan, by the way.
Is the store pick better than maybe a very nice batch?
So I know exactly what these are.
Do you?
And I'm just trying to make sure, like they're very familiar, is what I'm saying. For some reason I want to say they're Old Souls, but I'm not sure of that. Wrong? These are they're a little youthful. Like I'm picking up a little bit of kind of a youthful oakiness to them. But not bad, not bad. A little bit of dustiness on the finish, but not like a craft dustiness, more like you could probably use another year or so in the barrel. Like this first one here is kind of interesting. I get a little citrus on that, which I'm a big fan of citrus on whiskey. I know that when he says who these are, I'm gonna be like, of course. But we drank a lot of whiskey last night, and so I'm forgetting what everything tastes like. You putting your favorite closer to you or further away?
Closer.
Oh, okay. I'm going the opposite direction.
Of course you are.
We wouldn't have it any other way, right? Okay, locked in, Jill. Which one is your least favorite?
My least favorite is this one.
That is the second one from the left?
Yeah.
Okay, that is my second favorite. Your favorite is far left.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my favorite as well.
Oh, yay.
The other one's complete random order.
Okay, yeah.
So Just give us the far right. That's my second to least favorite,
And it's my second
and Jill's
favorite.
second favorite.
That's normal.
Okay, the holiday. Honestly though, my palate must be shot.
No, there is no way.
I didn't pick these up as
No
holiday. Yeah.
I think Seth is doing shenanigans up here today. He's taking my place because there's no way.
Hey, I drank a lot of whiskey today.
There's no way.
That's just a regular bourbon. Like normally with Ben Holiday, I'm gonna get a lot of red fruit up front, and my palate's not picking that up today at all for some reason. Now it tastes like Ben Holiday on the finish, but if I would have got that red fruit, I would have said these are holidays. But today, my palate, after drinking copious amounts of alcohol, is not picking up the red fruit. So either my palate's desensitized, or I'm just making shit up as we go. Either way, doesn't matter. So all right, so what's the second from the right? Which one is that?
Our pick.
No, that's not that kind of holiday. That was my least favorite, by the way. My own face on it. Here's what's great about blinds too. Sometimes your palate just likes something completely different than you normally are into, and you're gonna completely contradict yourself. And tomorrow you'll come back and have completely separate opinions. Because without the red fruit, these, like honestly, I didn't even pick them up as holiday.
I didn't.
And I drink a lot of holiday. I usually can pick that red fruit note up real quick with these.
I do agree
All right, so
that on the finish though.
What's the third one? Jill's second favorite and my second favorite and Jill's second least favorite. That's the Meriwether Strawberry Hill. Yeah, that's Strawberry Hill neighborhood there. So that's a good one. That's a good one.
That's my least favorite.
That is your least favorite, my second favorite. So what's both of our favorites? The bourbon lower.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I did say my palate was shot, and I was completely wrong on all of this. But this is the Bourbon Lore 18-barrel blend.
Well, that just makes me more excited for ours.
So
I
think
didn't
my
even
palate
think
shut down.
this was holiday at all.
I know, this is embarrassing. This is going really well. All right, what else are we blinding? Let's see what else we can
All
get.
right, somebody else can blind for the next one.
Jill's out. Jill's
I'm
like,
out.
I just
I messed that up real bad.
I am out.
I'm out.
You had the same first as mine.
Yeah, that's true.
My least favorite had my face on it.
I still love your face.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
You kind of said that sometimes your palate isn't feeling what you normally feel. So I thought, why not bring in some scotch today?
It's a whiskey festival because we thought we were going to have a couple of moonshine distilleries. They didn't. At least one.
They forgot they invited me.
One of them didn't make it. Well, yeah. I mean, John Emerald has a nice single malt, so this is fair game. Although I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I'm not expecting to like any of these. But I'm going to rank them and tell you which one is awful and which one's awfuler. Okay, as far as like scotches go, that's one.
You want to tell you about it or not really?
Yeah, I mean, don't give me the name, but that's very much a scotch.
It's a 16-year-old scotch, and it's from Speyside, and 13 years it's spent in a bourbon barrel, and 3 years in an ex-sherry barrel.
Okay, so far this is the worst one I've had.
It'll get better.
Okay, well this one's lighter in color. This one's like water. So I'm assuming this one was not aged as long, or they used a worse barrel.
Yeah, this one's a lot younger, and this is a blended scotch.
Here's my problem. Okay, first of all, it's awful. Second, I gotta go back and try the first one to determine which one's awful.
See, no, I was hoping that when you said that your palate is a little, off today, you didn't pick your pick of the Ben Holiday, I was hoping that you would love it, but we're not getting anywhere.
Here's the thing. My palate's a little desensitized. It didn't just quit.
He's already coughing, so this isn't going very well.
Okay, this one is less awful than this one.
Okay, that's good, that's good. That's what I was hoping for. That's good.
This one just tastes like I pureed a Band-Aid. Yeah, okay. But then I gotta go back to that one and try to. This one's finished in something, I think. A little sweetness on it.
It is, yep.
Put a drop of water in it.
Oh yeah, have you tried water? It might make it better.
Let's see, we'll put a drop of water in it and see if this
I don't
makes
think
it
it's
better.
gonna help at all. You just have a lot more to drink now. I don't know if that's good.
That really helped.
So you like the first one?
Yeah, first one's best.
First, third, second?
That is the least awful. Let's not say best. This is the least awful.
All right.
This is the second least awful. I like the little sweetness on the finish. That's all I liked about it. and then this is just Band-Aids.
All right, I'll be honest, I am proud of myself.
Okay.
Because the first one he picked, I thought he would like the most. So that is a Linkwood, and it's 13 years in bourbon, 3 years in sherry. So it kind of mellows it out a little bit in the sherry. You get a little bit of the sweetness. The third one you got, that's a Benaronic. That's from Speyside.
Okay.
That's an 11-year-old single cask, and that's finished, that's matured in Polish oak. And so the Polish oak means that they matured a Polish wine in it. They took it over to Speyside, and they put Benaronic in it. And it's sat in there for 11 years. I really love that one, but the peat, I kind of assume you wouldn't like that, but you know, I gotta give you some peat, you know. I love you, man, so you gotta try some peat. And the middle one,
Pete is awful.
and the middle
I
one.
hate you, Pete. Anybody here named Pete?
All right, Pete, raise your hand.
Pete, any Pete's in here? I'm glad, because I hate Pete.
All right, good job not raising your hand.
Pete's are awful.
And then the middle one, this is Campbelltown Lock.
Oh,
That's from Springbank.
That's Springbank?
Yep.
Sorry, Springbank.
That's Springbank's cheapest product that they release. It's a
Makes
blended
sense.
scotch.
Makes sense.
It's around $60. To me, I think it's really good, but I think it makes sense why it was last for you.
Worth
so.
$60 ever spent right there. That is the Brewzle Live segment. I appreciate everybody hanging out. Thank y'all all for coming. This has been fantastic. I think the team did really, really good for the first iteration of this. And we will only make it bigger and better from here. So thank y'all. I appreciate all the support. Man, it's been fun. It's been a good festival. I'm a little tired. I haven't slept in 3 days at this point, I don't think, but I'm glad we got here. I'm glad we pulled this off. I'm glad we did it. You'd asked me yesterday, I was a little bit regretting it, but at this point, excited that this happened. We had a fantastic turnout. So much fun. There's still a lot of whiskey to be poured tonight, a lot of fun to be had. Luckily, I've been hammering these DPZs. I don't know when we're going to get the Dr. Pepper Zero sponsor. I don't know. What does it take? What does it take to get a Dr. Pepper Zero sponsor? Like, just send cases to the house. I'm going broke buying Dr. Pepper Zeros for all these videos. But, man, honestly, it's humbling. It's crazy that this many people showed up and hung out here at this festival because we put it on. We just do bourbon hunts. Like, I'm just some guy with an average palate having a good time enjoying whiskey, and it's amazing to me that this many people relate to it and come hang out with us. We're going to continue pushing this. I think next year we can make this bigger. I think next year we can have them bring some barrel picks. It's going to be a bigger festival next year for sure. If you'd asked me again yesterday, I don't know if we'll do this again. But after today, there's no way we're not going to do this again next year. So appreciate y'all watching at this point. I don't know if this is the end of the video, but it's the end of my night. Like, my obligations are over. I just get to go party now. Hey B-Team, are you ready to look fresh for family get-togethers this holiday season? Do you want your friends and family to know you have a selection, not a collection? You know Uncle Ted watches the channel as well. Instead of listening to all those rehash stories from high school, you can actually talk about bourbon. If you want to rep the Brewzle community, then listen up. We're going to change how we're doing merch just a little bit. The Brewzle team is dropping a massive amount of all new merch to keep our Brewzle community looking their absolute best. We're releasing 5 new t-shirt designs, hats, leather coasters, koozies, and a members only kit from Aged in Ore. Now, whether you're looking for some new gear promoting your love of bourbon or a gift for a bourbon lover in your life, then be ready when we launch on October 19th. Be sure to grab some new Brewzle gear on launch day because every one of these is in limited supply.